Hello, hello. So this will be a tutorial slash process video of me creating a simpler version of my tower generator I made in the past, since some people have been requesting a tutorial for it. Just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, so I made this asset, this procedural Houdini asset some time back, and it allows you to create those medieval looking towers to your liking based on parameters you change. You can see here there's a lot of spline usage in order to shape the walls and all of it. Got different doors, you can change the doors. So yeah, just all kinds of customizations. However, we'll keep it simple and hopefully go over a bunch of different techniques I used for this asset. Yeah, and I was thinking it would be nice to add some extra functionality. So it's not just a tower, but so we can maybe actually make a whole castle. So we can have a wall, add some towers on the corners maybe. But yes, I want to keep this video, or this video series possibly, loose and just long format. Basically, it will be a process video of me creating this asset. And maybe if it turns out good, I can make a little shorter edited version at the end about the asset. So which will be actually a tutorial. This. Then let's get started. Just a warning. I'm rusty with Houdini. I haven't used it in a while. So maybe I will just give up in the middle of this project and despair. But nobody can say I didn't try. Okay. Alright. Cool. So how do we start? We start with a box. Boom. We'll create a geometry node for us automatically. In this geometry node, that will be our box. So just so you know what I'm doing, I like set certain shortcuts. Yes, I did. So what I did, I put hotkeys on the copy parameter and paste relative reference. You can see I put it on Control E, Control R. So, because those are functionalities I use a lot and I don't want to be like always here. So what this does, in case you don't know, if I copy reference, let's say I copied the size X here and paste relative reference here, it will use the same value. So if I like change this, you can see it matches the value. Yeah, you get the idea, right? And this is super useful to function to link link stuff together and actually make it procedural. All right. Then I think Control left click is resetting it, unlinking it. Yes. So let's try to make something like this. Maybe we're gonna have a tool where we can draw a spline, and along this spline we'll get this wall created. And we'll have some towers on the corners, like this one here. Yeah, let's try to go for something like this. Cool. So let's start with creating the wall and maybe have the shape like the what do you say? So you can control the shape with a spline of the whole wall. Maybe you don't want the whole wall to be straight, but maybe there's some pillars at the bottom and some indents. So Let's start with that. How about that? Let's try that. Okay, so first of all, we want to move our cube up, so it always stays on the ground level. Moving up, this is scaling, no? So we move up like this. Yes. But, of course, now if we scale it, it will go down again. So we want to have it so it scales from the bottom. We can do this by simply taking the Y size. So I'm doing copy parameter using my shortcut. And then paste relative reference. I'm showing it here, but I will use my shortcut in the future. Paste relative reference. Boom. All right, let's remove what we wrote. Remove the number. Yeah. So now the size is linked to the Y position of this cube. You can see. So if this is on 2, it means it also moves up this cube by 2 on the Y-axis. It's on 0.5, 5.5. Now, how do we get it on the ground? With math. So we want to do minus. If we click here, we can see our code again. So we want to do minus. Divided by 2, was it? Okay, not minus. There we go. So just take the size divided by 2 because it scales from the center. So it always like just moves it down half the size. And that's why it looks like it stays there. Yeah, those are some very basic concepts which we will use a lot. So don't worry if you don't get it quite yet. I will probably repeat it quite a bit. Cool. So, oh, by the way, if you wonder how I scale like this, you can hold middle mouse button and go left and right. Also, you can change the steps, how fast you scale by going up and down here, this scale. Cool. Now we want to be able to shape this wall a bit, ideally with a spline. For this, I will have to look up how I did it, because I don't remember. Now, in order for us to shape the wall, we want to create a little spline graph, which we can control it with. In order to do that, we create a line, like so. Give it some more points. Can display points here. Great. Now I want to be able to adjust the shape of this. We can do that with a attribute WOP. Great. So by default, our attribute WOP. So I just double click on this and then you get in here. By default, it doesn't do anything. We're gonna use our P, which is our vector for the position of each point. And we're gonna do something with it. In WOP, so in WOP world in here, we have this node called ramp. No, not ramps. Ramp parameter, which will allow us to change it to a spline to have this little graph. And this is the graph we want to manipulate our wall with. Great. So now we don't want to move. We just want to move the points into one direction. So let's say into the Z direction. Yeah. So that means first we need to split our vector. So we say vector to float. And then we also do a float to vector. Put them back together. So we have X, Y, Z position of our point. This we can leave. Cool. So now we want to map the coordinates of this spline onto our line. That means we need to feed in first the Y location of our point, meaning so the height maps now across the length of this spline across X. That's why we feed in Y. So we're sampling in the on the X-axis depending on our Y position here. And then we want to manipulate our X, our Z. Let's do X actually. We want to manipulate our Z axis. So that means just put it in here. Yeah. And then connect this, of course. Now I don't see anything because the changing this here doesn't do anything in here. So what we have to do is go out again. Select our VOP, and now I can see this little ramp here has been created here as well. Now we should remove this. Yeah, you can see the effect. Yeah. Now I get the idea. Right? So that works. Beautiful. This is art. Okay, so maybe you want to add more points. And add some more control. So of course we want to say be able to change the height of our wall, right? Now we could go back, so we could control it here in our line with the length parameter. If I visualize it here, you can see though. Oh wait, you can't see it. Right, let me do something. So let's say we bring this down here again. Yeah, and it will be more clear. Yeah, if we change the length now, you can see it doesn't affect the whole length of our spline. Yeah, not ideal, but we can adjust that, no problem. So if we go back in our VOP, we want to fit the values, or fit the right values. Meaning we need to fit range node. Go Y, put it in here. Great. Now you can see here we have if you go into the fit node, we have a source min, source max, which since we use our Y is just height of our spline. So now we could say 2. which would give us the height of our line since we made it 2. But of course we want to keep it procedural. So what do? We copy this. Again, what is it called? We copy this parameter. Go in here and paste it in here as reference. Paste relative reference. Great. Now our, oh wait, we don't want the number in front of this. Now the Y in here should always match, will always match our span. Amazing. Let's reduce the points a bit. Right. Now to give it a bit more control, be nice so if we can generally squish it or extend it, so we don't have to go in here and be like, oh, okay, I wanna flatten it, so I now have to move each individual point. No, we can just again fit it, right? There's like also another fit node. You can see we have this destination min and max, and it does exactly that. So now we want to have access to this parameter outside of our, like maybe we want to have access in here, right? You can see, we can see this here now though. So we go back into our WAP. What we can do, so destination max, is we can promote this outside somehow. What was it? Control middle mouse button, I think. Promote parameter, yes. So control middle mouse button on this and then promote to parameter, promote parameter. You can see there's this little label here now, and it gets grayed out in here. So if we go outside, indeed it has been created right here. So now you can see it only goes from 0 to 1, but if we just, you know, you can push it further, you can type or like do this. Alternatively, we can also change the UI of this little node. Edit parameter interface, that's the one. So if we search for our value, which is down here, we can just set the max to, let's say, 10. Apply, boom, now our slider works again. So handy. Cool. Okay, now this doesn't look very wall-like. It's just a line. Won't be a very strong wall like this. So let's try to actually make a wall out of it. Spline. What is it fucking called? Draw curve. No, it's just called curve. Curve. Polygon. Great. We go to our top view. Okay, we're in our top view. We're gonna draw a bunch of stuff. No, some other bit and then draw a bunch of stuff. Draw a bunch of stuff. Boom. Cool. Then we go to our perspective. As we just learned, we can use the, what is it called again? What call it? Sweep. Sweep. Can sweep along the curve. Sweep along the curve. Look at that sweep. Oh god, it's beautiful. Why the hell is it upside down? Oh, why is it upside down? Oop, up. That's why. Toggle. Okay, interesting. So sweeping. I just want this to be inside out. It's like the wrong way right now. Okay. Yeah. There we go. One of the does the trick in our sweep node. Great. Let's look at our reference. Well, almost there, aren't we? What do we next? Add some towers. Hey, let's make it an actual wall. No, it's just a plane. So maybe now I just want an extrude. An extrude. By the way, all these parameters we're using here, all of them can be exposed later to contribute to the interface of our final tool. Like if we look at the tool I made, you can see you can design the interface how you want it, do the layout. You can see we will later expose the spline we created. All these parameters, whatever we need, we can expose. So that's what we will do later. So then we'll be able to control everything procedurally. Right now we're just building up the tool a bit, and soon we'll create a Houdini asset out of it. Maybe get it into the engine already, into Unreal Engine, to just see how it looks over there. But yeah, let's just focus on building it up a bit more first, I would say. So maybe set a bit more points. Maybe we don't want divisions everywhere, right? It's not ideal. So what we could do is after we shape our spline, we can remove all the points which are unnecessary. We can do that with a facet. Right. Remove inline points. No, that seems about right. So now, while we draw a spline, we will get rid of any unnecessary points. Before, after. Not ideal yet, I know, but oh, what the hell? Oh. If we want a bit more accuracy, we can add just way more points here, 500, and it will be more accurate. Maybe a bit slower, probably not much. Yeah, you can see. So maybe we also want to control the normals. So now you can see it's all smooth shaded up there. Maybe that's not what we want. We could already add like a normal node. And points, maybe, yeah, we can control it with this. So if it's on 0, every face will be flat shaded. You can see it better here. It's like basically by angle, it smooths it out or not. Later on, we can make it more in detail, but let's put it like this for now, so we can see what we're doing. Cool beans. Right, back to the wall. So now it's plain. We want to make a wall out of it. Let's maybe just see if we can just extrude it. That's not ideal. Okay, so if we extrude it, goes like this. I mean, the inside will be a flat wall anyway. We don't want to have all this geometry in the inside as well. So maybe we gotta be a bit smart about this. Maybe what we want is we can create the wall in our... That makes sense? Yeah, let's try that. Okay, so how do we select points? Of course, we can select them manually, but we want to do it all procedural. There is group, all kinds of group nodes. If you look for groups, you can see all kinds of group nodes. Most useful is group and the group range. Group by range. Mostly what I use mostly, most useful. So let's see what happens. We plug this in. Now you can see it's orange, so it basically selected everything in this group. And then later on we can use those groups to address the selections again, right? The way it saves the points is like, so if you toggle on the numbers, it basically remembers the numbers of the points we select. So for example, what we could do is, just to demonstrate, first of all, we don't want to select primitives, we want to select the points. So we just type 1 here. You will see it selected only 1, the point with the number 1. If you want 1 and 3, we can also have that. However, we want the first and the last one. We don't know which one the last one is, since there could be any amount of points. So we gotta find a different way. And that's where the group by range node comes in handy. Since we can define start and end stuff, points, again, I'll just run on the points. Maybe invert selection. And there you go. And there it is. So put start on one, end on one, invert selection at the beginning and the end point. Now you can see even if I change the numbers, it still stays selected, which is what we want. Now we can call this, give this group a name. We can call it group, I don't know, ends. This we don't need. Now I want to extrude it. Cool, I figured it out. So we had our group where we selected our first and last point. Then we want to isolate them. So we delete everything except this group. Delete non-selected. Then we copy it over. No, that's wrong. Copy transform. Copy it over. And then connect them. Not with add, but with connect adjacent pieces. Can select points, adjacent points. I want to say search radius. We will adjust this later to be procedural with our thickness. Max search point, only 1. No, sorry, 2. So you will now cross no matter how far it is. So yes. Then we want to delete this piece in order so we can merge it into one continuous line. Now we can, okay, now we're lucky that it's 0. I guess it will always be 0, so I don't think that should ever change. So we can just blast. Oh my god, just select first what you want to blast. Want to blast. You can say if you toggle on your primitive numbers, this is 0. This will always stay 0. I'm almost certain. If it won't, we will notice. So we'll just select 0. Call this. I don't even need to call it. Blast it. Blast it. Boom. There we go. And now I want to merge those together. We can do this with fuse. So fuse actually, so you can see now we still have 2 pieces. So those 2 points will overlap. We want to merge them. So it's 1 point on each corner. First, we actually need to put them into one node. So we use the merge node, put them together. And then we run this through the fuse. And it should have merged them now. Let's see. So you can see if I turn the point numbers, we can see if it's overlapping. That's after the fuse, before the fuse. You can see there's a second number here. There's 2 part work. If you wanna really be sure, you could select it. So we can just put an edit node here. You can select the word, move it, and see. Yeah, indeed, it's just 1 now. Cool. Bottom one should also be merged. 0. Yeah, that looks good. And now, guess what? We should have a thickness. But we don't, because we have to plug this in still. Look at this thick ass wall. Beautiful. Hope you can follow so far. In case you can't, let me know, and I'll try to be more clear in future videos. So yeah, I hope it helps you guys a bit that I do this. I hope one person out here gets some use out of those probably excruciatingly long videos. But that's how I like to work, unstructured. No, I'm just kidding. All depends. Sometimes you need structure in your life, sometimes you don't. But now we created this wall. We will close it off eventually. Maybe we can already close it off. I don't know. Cool. And yeah, as you know, now we could like go in here and edit stuff. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you can see, you can edit it. Especially if we go from the top view. Yeah. Which is pretty cool, pretty neat. Yeah, that's not a deal, but yeah. It's a bit skewed. We might need to add later some exceptions or handle it somehow that it can be skewed like this. Maybe we can add some extra bevels if the angle is too sharp. We'll figure this out one by one, step by step. We build it up. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, liking, leaving a comment. Let me know if you want to know something. Ask me. If you have feedback for this format, ask me. I can barely call it a format, but right. All right. Have a good day, guys. Peace.